Hey YouTubers, it's Charlie. Hopefully you guys have had a chance to see Star Wars Episode 7 this weekend, maybe once, maybe like 5 times, but I thought it'd be fun to do a video just about the dark side of the Force and the state of the things in the new trilogy versus what happened in the past. We are going to be talking about spoilers from the movie, so just careful for spoilers. If you haven't seen it yet, we're going to be talking about the Knights of Ren, the Sith, and just the dark side of the Force in general. So I'm going to start with this quote from Maz Kanata. She kind of sets the stage for what's going on with the dark side of the Force and just evil in general in the galaxy. She's about 1,000 years old, as told by Han Solo, and says, "I've seen darkness take many forms. The Sith, the Empire, now it's calling itself the First Order." Now, the First Order and the Knights of Ren are two completely different things, but think of them as sharing the same type of relationship that the Sith did with the Empire. Like, the Emperor was part of the Sith, he created the Empire. That's why I feel like Snoke is associated with the Knights of Ren, who led to the creation of the First Order. Now, obviously, there's a lot we don't know about Snoke. We know less about him than almost any other character right now. It's kind of the same way after Episode 4, after A New Hope, we really didn't know anything about the Emperor either. Only that Darth Vader, this, seemingly really powerful evil person, had a master himself. So in the movie, Snoke says, "Even you, master of the Knights of Ren, haven't faced a test like this before." Rey has that Force vision when she touches the lightsaber that shows her Kylo Ren's character surrounded by a bunch of dark figures. I think those are the Knights of Ren, the actual people that are part of the Knights of Ren. So what I think J.J. Abrams has done is move things away from George Lucas's reliance on the Sith as a group of dark side Force users. It's like the way different religions of real-world Earth describe their ultimate deity. Like, everyone has a slightly different description, different interpretation of religion. But I still think it all flows from the same source. And remember, Luke was trying to find the original Jedi temple. Now, in the expanded universe, there's actually a story about the beginning of the Jedi, but they threw out the expanded universe, so we can't really use any of those stories as theory crafting. Like, whatever they're doing with this new trilogy, completely different from what the comics did with the origin of the Jedi. So here's my question for you guys. Let me know in the comments below. Do you think that Supreme Leader Snoke and Luke Skywalker, as part of like the arc of the Force in the new trilogy, are on similar paths? Like, their story will get back to the origins of the Jedi and the origins of the Force. Like, when you look back to the original trilogy, like, what would Emperor Palpatine have done if he had truly conquered the galaxy and eradicated the Jedi? Would you have seen a new order of Sith rise up, or would it have remained the George Lucas rule of two thing? In case you guys didn't know too, whenever George Lucas sold Lucasfilm to Disney, one of his conditions was that he would be allowed input on the new films. So he gave an outline for the new trilogy, and it was only read by like the top 3 Disney executives. Only 3 people at Disney read George Lucas's plans for the new trilogy. They ultimately decided to throw that out, and that's when they decided to kind of throw out the expanded universe too and go in a different direction. You have the Knights of Ren instead of the Sith. You have the Resistance instead of the Rebellion. I'm fairly fascinated to find out exactly what was in George Lucas's outline, but largely most people think that it was just more focused on younger characters, just like the prequels were focused on younger characters. So by all accounts, I think the Lucasfilm Story Group did the right thing when they got rid of George Lucas's ideas. I mean, they also kind of threw the Sith out in terms of like a bad group of dark side Force users, but now we have this new group to learn about. So presumably in like, 20 years or however longer it takes for them to make a new trilogy, we might even see like a new interpretation of the dark side of the Force. Make no mistake, Episode 9 is not going to be the last saga film. They're going to make a new Star Wars film every single year till the end of time. And when I say saga films, I'm just talking about main trilogy. You have like the spin-off films like Rogue One, that'll be next year. Those will fill in the gaps between saga films. And if you guys didn't know, Kathleen Kennedy did say that these new saga films, Episodes 7, 8, 9, will follow the Skywalker family. So when you're thinking about character backstories, just think about the Skywalker family being very, very important. I know we're all still wondering who Rey is, and then there's really like a couple of really clear choices. Is she a Skywalker? Is she a Solo? Is she somebody completely different? I feel like any direction they go is fine because her character is so amazing though that you might not even care by the time they actually explain it. Like, you'd just be so in love with Daisy Ridley. That's what I feel like these new films get right that the prequels did not. Even if you like the spectacle of the prequels, like there were some amazing big scenes in the prequels, some really cool stuff that happened. I feel like the characters just weren't there in the way they are in these new films. But back to Kylo Ren, Master of the Knights of Ren. Is there anybody who feels like this new trilogy isn't all about the redemption of Kylo Ren? I mean, obviously it's a much bigger story than that, but that's the central family arc. Bring Ben home. And who else just loves that he's named after Ben Kenobi? It's a perfectly timed bomb to blow up your heart. I kept wondering what Kylo Ren's real name was going to be. I was so happy when I heard Han Solo call that out. I mean, obviously it comes before a really cry-worthy scene, but it was such a perfect moment. So moving to Episode 8 territory, we're probably going to see a lot more of the actual Knights of Ren because Supreme Leader Snoke is going to be finishing Kylo Ren's training. And as much as Episode 7 rhymed visually and thematically with Episode 4, I feel like Episode 8 is going to be uncharted territory, so don't expect it to follow the story beats of Empire as much as Episode 7 followed the story beats of Episode 4. I am so excited to see what Rian Johnson does with these characters. And Daisy Ridley has actually said that she's read the Episode 8 script, so the script is done. And they've already filmed again, that place where Luke Skywalker, where Rey's character finds Luke Skywalker, they've already been back there to film scenes for Episode 8. Would you not be so upset if they just skipped over that last moment with Rey trying to hand the lightsaber back to Luke? Like if they just jumped forward in time 3 months, you'd be like, oh my god, what happened? So I am expecting Episode 8 to pick up almost immediately after the end of Episode 7. I know a lot of you guys are asking if Supreme Leader Snoke is connected to Emperor Palpatine. If Emperor Palpatine was the Emperor of the galaxy and one of the most powerful dark side force users of all time, then how could Snoke, albeit, very powerful person himself, have absolutely no knowledge of him? So I think that in the movies they will reference Palpatine, but my understanding based on what J.J. Abrams has said is that Snoke doesn't have any kind of connection with Palpatine. So that's why I don't think he's Darth Plagueis or anybody from the expanded universe. Everybody wanted to know if he might have been Plagueis, like secretly some other figure who was behind Palpatine. I think that he definitely is bigger than Palpatine, but I think that the context is very different. I think what J.J. Abrams wants to say is that Palpatine was just like a small part of the pie that is the Force. So definitely expect them to reference Darth Sidious in the Sith, but I don't think that their plans have anything to do with what the Sith were doing. What I'm probably going to do next this week, just because, hopefully most of you have seen the movie by sometime next week, is I'm going to do bonus videos for some of the big characters in the film. I could spend all day talking about these characters. They're so awesome. The new characters, way more interesting than the original trilogy characters in the movie. So be sure to subscribe to get everything. And the IMAX gift certificate giveaway is still going on right now. All you have to do to enter that is be a subscriber, leave a comment on this video, real simple. I'll do a Q&A video really soon where I'll announce the winner of that. In case you guys haven't seen it, I did do a full review of the movie. You can click here for that, and you can click here for the 12 Days of Deadpool. Just doing a whole bunch of Deadpool videos before the new trailer comes. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Let's high five. I'll see you guys tonight.